Dominant teams often find themselves immortalized in the digital age in many ways. A major way is through classic video games. Whether it's the Magic vs. Bird Classic in NCAA March Madness, or the teams made up of legends in MVP Baseball. But there are a lot of instances where you see a team in present day and go, oh yeah, that's a classic team for sure. On July 8th, 2010, LeBron James decided to instantly make one of those teams when he took his talents to South Beach. And now the Miami Heat had Chris Bosh, Dwyane Wade, and LeBron James. Today we're going to analyze the landscape of the league both before and after that choice on the digital scale. Welcome to Most Virtual Player. Before we get into the actual Miami Heat rosters, we should probably unpack why they all decided to join forces in the first place. Chris Bosh had to witness a lot of shenanigans in Toronto. He had a front row ticket to Kobe dropping 81 points. But more importantly, Bosh found himself on teams that just weren't good enough to do anything. In the 7 seasons in Toronto, they only made the playoffs twice and ended up losing both times in the first round. In his 7 seasons there, the Raptors had a winning record just once. Bosh's best taste of winning around that time was when he was on the Redeem team with the likes of Kobe Bryant and, oh look who it is, it's LeBron James. Oh, and Dwyane Wade. Now, Dwyane Wade was used to winning in the NBA. Matter of fact, him and Shaq won the Heat a title in 2006. Now, yeah, he didn't three-peat like Shaq and Kobe did, but no one was questioning the fact that if he could get it done in the playoffs. We knew this. We saw it. Out of those three, the player that was criticized the most at the time was LeBron, because LeBron hadn't won a championship up until that point, and so many people were talking about the king without a ring. Whether it was losing to the Pistons in 2006, and if you didn't think I was going to put the Pistons in this video, then I guess you don't know me that well. There was also the time where he got swept in the 2007 NBA Finals, losing to a very stacked Spurs team. Then there's losing in 7 to the Boston Celtics Big 3 in 2008. There's also losing to the Dwight Howard Magic in 2009. It didn't matter how good the team he was playing with was, LeBron James was always at the forefront of criticism. In his first stint with the Cleveland Cavaliers, LeBron James' second highest scorer was Mo Williams in 2008-2009 with 17.8 points per game. Now, if you're hearing that and saying, Kofie, you're talking about one-time All-Star Mo Williams. That's not the point I'm trying to make, and you know that. If you think that I don't have respect for one of the early adopters of the double shooting sleeve, then once again, you do not know me that well. Also, I know that some of those Cavs teams were really good at defense, but I just wanted to highlight the weight that LeBron had to carry during those stints. For video game context, in NBA 2K10, LeBron's best teammate in the game was a 37-year-old Shaquille O'Neal at an 81 overall. Now, I know that Shaquille O'Neal has appeared twice in this video already. It's not a Shaquille O'Neal video, I promise you. I promise you. Dwyane Wade's best teammate was a 75 overall Jermaine O'Neal. And Chris Bosh's best teammate, according to the ratings, was Hedo Turkoglu. For reference, in NBA 2K10, the Celtics have 4 players 80 overall or higher. The Los Angeles Lakers have 3, and if you look at that, so do the Spurs. And while it was a fun challenge to use LeBron James or Dwyane Wade on these teams, it was really clear that NBA 2K held more balanced teams in higher regard. Now, when all 3 of them joined forces in NBA 2K11, were they the #1 team overall? Nope, that title goes to the Lakers, with the Heat a close second. Now, the Heat were given the 4th best defense with the 2nd best offense. Now, the #1 offense in the game goes to, say it all with me, the Denver Nuggets. Not the point of the video. What I am trying to say is that this video will be actively challenging what the people that actually made this game think versus what the player base actually does. And the first thing we have to talk about are what I like to call ISO players. When I say an ISO player, I bet what comes to mind for you is like Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Luka Doncic. Now, I want to talk about Joel Anthony. Wait, just hear me out. When I say ISO player, for me, ISO stands for instant sub out. An instant sub out is what I consider a player in a starting lineup whose skill set doesn't really translate to the video game, and it's better that they just get subbed out from the get-go. If you want a little bit more offense on the Hawks, you might sub out Marvin Williams for Jamal Crawford. If you're the Lakers, you might want to swap out Derek Fisher for Lamar Odom so you could have a little bit more versatility. Now, the most popular ISO player might be substituting Babo Cephalosha for James Harden, but I know Kristaps is right there, but there's not really anyone to replace him that well. Oh, there's Ibaka right there. Never mind. I lied. Now, Joel Anthony is a prime substitution candidate because there's 70 overall Zydrunas Ilgauskas on the bench. Joel Anthony wasn't even the full-time starter that season, but Ilgauskas just got there, so I guess they kept him in the starting lineup as developers, which is fine. But you could sub him out for Big Z, Udonis Haslem. The possibilities are endless, honestly. In 2K13, Joel Anthony is out of the rotation altogether, and Chris Bosh has moved to the center position. More on that later. I think now is a good time to talk about the skills of each player. In 2K11, Chris Bosh was one of the best rebounders in the game with a 98 rating, and he also has a great post-up game to boot. Now, he's known to have diminished his role the most in coming to the Heat, but he's still one of the best bigs in the game. In 2K11, the only power forwards ahead of him ratings-wise are Pau Gasol and Tim Duncan, and the only center higher than him is Dwight Howard. In 2K11, Bosh wasn't given that many special animations, but his 85 mid-range jumper and his 95 low post, as well as his dynamite rebounding stats, make him a tailor-made forward that could play the 5 in video games if need be. Dwyane Wade was given a lot of animations in 2K11. I want to focus a little bit on his momentum shots. You see, it always seemed like Wade was able to get extra separation with his one dribble pull-ups along with his step-back jump shot. And if you watched my Curry episode, you know that some of these animations weren't seamless with the corresponding dribble package. But Wade is perfect in my opinion. He's able to cross over into a one dribble pull-up that you would never see coming. That paired with his 99 speed, an 83 shot off the dribble, and 81 mid-range jumper made it a worthwhile shot in space every time. Oh, by the way, if you were sitting on that move, he also had a very good step back that would catch you slipping as well. Now, LeBron's momentum shots were different than Wade's, but that didn't matter because you were dealing with an absolute freight train. Now, Dwyane Wade and LeBron James both have 99 overall layups, and LeBron has a 93 dunk overall, making him one of the best finishers in the entire game. You pair that with a 93 overall speed, and no one can stop that. Also, 99 stamina and durability. Good luck, guys. Keep in mind that all these players are on the same team, by the way. LeBron turns into a 98 overall this time around, while Wade goes to 96, and Bosh drops to 80 overall. Bosh dropping to an 80 overall I feel had more to do with his diminished role compared to his Toronto years, but that really didn't diminish how he played next to LeBron and Dwyane Wade in this game. NBA 2K13 is where we get the introduction of signature skills. Now, I mentioned this in the Steph Curry MVP, but just in case, signature skills are when a player possesses extra boosts for certain scenarios. The Heat fall to the second best team in 2K13 thanks to the Lakers' additions of Steve Nash and Dwight Howard. LeBron stays at 98 while Wade drops down to a 93, and Bosh gets a little bit of an uptick with an 82 overall. When it comes down to signature skills, Wade and LeBron each got 5. That was the max at the time. LeBron gets finisher, chase down artist, dimer, lockdown defender, and interceptor. I think that 3 out of the 5 of these being defense is a really big deal, as him getting a boost there in a game where defense is usually a huge disadvantage, I think it matters a lot. Now, Dwyane Wade gets acrobat, shot creator, interceptor, closer, and deadeye. This allotment of signature skills more than makes up for the drop-off in rating, in my humble opinion. Also, his closer ability gives him a boost in the fourth quarter and overtime. Now, Chris Bosh was given spot-up shooter, and that's it, but hear me out on this one. That's all he really falls under, and it's actually very important that he has this in the first place. With spot up shooter, his penalty for bad timing on shots 12 feet or farther from the floor decreased by 30%. And while in this game he's a 65 overall 3-point shooter, that skill really helps keep defenders a little bit more honest. I think this is crucial because for a long time, a 65 overall 3-point rating wasn't a good shot. It was a waste of time. But now, if he's wide open and he gets the catch and shoot signature skill activated, it's not a bad shot. NBA 2K14 was a very interesting time for the Heat because that's the true year of LeBron James. You see, LeBron was given a 99 overall in the game. The last time before that an active player was given a 99 overall was in 2K9. Now Wade declines again to 91 overall, and Chris Bosh was given the same rating of an 82. This game literally revolved around LeBron James. I mean, he even had his own game mode. Not many players can say that. The game literally revolved around LeBron James. It was his first cover, and they had his own challenges in the game. But the most important thing was that LeBron James was given his own signature skill. Even if you had 2K14, you might not have known that because it's not listed in the signature skills menu. You actually have to go to the edit player screen for LeBron James himself to actually see it. And if I go to another player like Chris Bosh and try to add LeBron James coast to coast, I can't add that. Nope. Not there. The coast-to-coast skill gives a flurry of boosts in transition to speed, quickness, and ball handling. This is just one of the many ways that LeBron was OP in NBA 2K14. I've been spending a lot of time talking about the big three. We've talked about their skills so much, but it was really their style of play that truly set them apart in the video game. And this leads us all the way back to Chris Bosh. When Chris Bosh first got to Miami, he was a power forward that barely looked at the rim from beyond the arc. In his 7 seasons as a Raptor, Bosh took 168 threes total at a 30% clip. In his 3rd season with the Heat, he took 74 threes. Then in his 2013-14 season, he took 218 threes. This is around the beginning of the Heat small ball era. The concept of small ball has been around for a really long time before this. There was Nelly Ball, created by Don Nelson, and then there were the D'Antoni Sons that would play Amari at center. What the Heat eventually did was move Chris Bosh to center, and Bosh started to take more threes. And this allowed Wade, and more importantly LeBron, to operate with more space. But for those of us already playing with the Heat and against the Heat in video games, we already knew the absolute nightmare lineups we could have concocted. In 2011, the Miami Heat have 3 players on the roster with higher than an 80 overall 3-point rating. In 2K12, it's 5 players, in 2K13, it's 6 players, and in 2K14, it's 7 players on the roster. Only one of these times does a member of the Big 3 fall under that criteria, and it's LeBron in 2K14. In basketball video games, a good 3-point shot would put you in a video game rotation no matter what the other attributes are, for the most part. And when you have players like LeBron James and Dwyane Wade that can take care of a lot on offense, having those players be able to space the floor is a godsend. Being able to craft your lineups where you can play LeBron at the 5 even allows us to truly play basketball that at a time felt like the future. This is the true danger of the video game Miami Heat. The Miami Heat were able to craft powerful video game shooting rosters that few others in that era were able to construct. And that was truly terrifying stuff. It was an absolute nightmare watching a video game LeBron and Wade speed at you in transition, and then you're so worried about them that you're not watching out for Eddie House, Mike Miller, Ray Allen, James Jones, Mario Chalmers, Shane Battier. I could go on and on. If I had to go with the most terrifying Heat roster, it's the 2K14 version, which had 7 shooters plus a 99 overall LeBron. No matter what 2K you played them in, the Miami Heat were a video game team that you didn't really have answers for. Whether you played them as they played in real life with Joel Anthony starting, or if you optimized them to be the best video game possible, they were a powerhouse nonetheless. If you did play 2K11 to 2K14 and you played as these Heat teams, feel free to let me know which one you thought was the most dominant in the comments. And if you also have any other MVP ideas, feel free to share those as well. It was a pleasure making this video for you, and I hope to see you next time. Goodbye, y'all! Thank you guys for watching all the way to the end of the video. It truly means a lot to me. For more secret-based content, feel free to go to our Patreon at patreon.com/secretbase. We make new stuff every week, and we hope to see you guys over there. If not, that's perfectly fine. We're still going to be making great secret-based content on this channel as well. So I'll see you next time. Goodbye.